Okay, one thing I'm looking at here is the brake pad, how it strikes the rim. Now if you look here, I squeeze the brake. This brake pad, it fits nice and evenly on the top side and the bottom side. It hits the rim completely, so the whole pad hits the rim, and that's what you want. But one thing I noticed over here, if you look at this side, when I squeeze the brake in, you can see there's a bit of a gap on the top, and on the bottom the actual pad hangs over a little bit on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen a 10mm bolt up here and adjust this pad up so it's like the one on the other side, so we get a good firm. You want the pads to hit the rim firmly, and you also want them for the front to touch slightly before the rear, so the front catches and then that pulls it forward, and the whole pad really grips the rim well. These cantilever brakes, they work good, but you have to have them adjusted right, and a lot of people don't take the time to adjust them. So what I'm going to do is I'll show you the bolt on the back we use to adjust it, and we'll get it adjusted up. Alright, so I've just got to get it tightened up just right without moving the adjustment. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's give it a squeeze, give it a spin. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. We'll look at the view, and looks like they're both grabbing about the same time. Actually, yeah, that's not bad. Alright, we'll go with that. So let me just turn the wheel a little bit for you so you can see. Hopefully we can see how the brakes are touching quite carefully and right in the center, and that's what we want. It's a nice good grip on the wheel. Give it a good spin and a good grab. And they're probably a little too far apart, but it's catching the rim just right. The complete pad is on the rim, and that's what I wanted. So I think we're in good shape here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get the back tire off and make some adjustments on the brakes back there. Okay, so here's the brake, and you see that the spring has 3 holes here. There's one here, and one here, and the spring is currently in the middle hole. So what I need to do is move the spring up to this hole here to put more spring pressure, return pressure, to hold that pad out more. So I've got to take this bolt off. I've already loosened it. I've got to take this bolt off and spin it out. Okay, so I've got the bolt. Oh, there's a washer that fell. I'll have to get that. And this thing comes up. I'm going to go on the other side here. Alright, so the brake comes up like this. You see there's the brake and there's the spring. The spring just catches right there. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it back down. Alright, I need to get it on the catch. You see the spring wants to go in that first hole, but we need to get it up, not in the second one, but in the third hole. And this is a bit tricky. You can do it if you're careful. Alright, so I've got it almost there. There it is. Alright, you see how the spring is in the top hole there, and so now there's more tension here. So I'll go ahead and put it back together. I'll put the screw in right here, and I'll get it tightened down, and then we'll put the wheel back in and see if that takes care of the problem. Okay, so I've got the wheel back on the bike, and you can see that this side is sticking out further now. This side, it's still got a fair gap there. It's not huge, but this one's obviously got more gap than this side, but that's okay, because when I pull the brake, you'll see, and you see that the right side actually comes over and touches the rim first, and then the left side, you can see it actually almost pulls the wheel a little bit over. Unfortunately, that's the way it's going to have to be, because I put more spring tension on this side. If I do on this side, it's going to pull it back over like this, and then this side's going to rub, and I don't want that. And normally up here you would have some sort of a self-adjuster that centers it, but for some reason this bike was designed, I don't know how well we'll see it, it's just got a little tube there that the cable routes through, and there's no bolt or anything on there to hold it straight, so it kind of is pulled to that side anyway. So unfortunately the design of this wasn't that great, but you can see that both pads are up off the rim, which is what I wanted, and they grab good enough, and I think they'll work just fine. So we're going to call this good.